Hey, what's up, y'all? Yeah, so I am back at it again with my preview and prediction series. So now, right now, we're doing ACC Atlantic preview and prediction part two. So yeah, so we got Florida State, Louisville, Boston College, and Syracuse. All right, so here we go. So we're going to start with the Florida State Seminoles. Yeah. So last year, we had mum typical Florida State year over the last 5 years. Of course, we know how good FSU used to be when they made won the national championship, and they've made the playoffs one time. Ever since 2016, of course, they've just ran off the tracks. So, of course, they did have the 7-6 season in 2016. Jimbo Fisher leaves, right, and they bring in Willie Taggart and fire him, and then hire Mike Norvell, and things still have not gone well. Which last year was another disaster of a season. Yep, 5-7. Yes, and they even lost to Jacksonville State. So yeah. So anyway, so can Florida State do better this year? Can they start to turn things around? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, yes, talk about their quarterbacks. Yes, so they do bring back Jordan Travis. Mackenzie Milton, kind of their other quarterback. They kind of went back and forth between Mackenzie Milton and Jordan Travis. But so his 4 years of eligibility are up. Of course, we do remember when he had that awful knee injury back in 2018. So he missed 2 years. So yeah, so it really was great that he was able to get back to playing football, but his eligibility is out. So it looks like this is going to be Jordan Travis's team now. Jordan Travis, that he's going to be like a fifth year senior. Anyway, but he is what he is. I mean, really, he's just he's not any good, but yeah, to be honest. But anyway, so then running backs, you did lose Jashawn Corbin, gone to the NFL, but you do bring back Trayshawn Ward and Lawrence Toafili. And you also got a transfer from Oregon, Trey Benson. So, and anyway, so then wide receivers, they do lose Andrew Parchment, who led the team in catches, but you do return your number one wide receiver in terms of yards and touchdowns in Ontario Wilson. And they do also bring back Kayshawn Helton, Ja'Kai Douglas, and Malik McLean, and tight end Cameron McDonald. right. So they do return most of the offense, and then they do return most of the defense as well. It's 8 starters, although they did lose their defensive ends. Yes, a first round pick in Jermaine Johnson. Yes, transferred from Georgia, and then Kier Thomas, their other defensive end. Yeah, in their 4-3 defense. And also cornerback Jarvis Brownlee transferred to Louisville, but they did also get a corner from Louisville in Greedy Vance. Let's see, and then at defensive end, they also brought in a transfer from Albany, Jared Verse. And then they do bring back their leading tackler, safety. It's kind of unusual to have a safety as your leading tackler. Normally it's an inside linebacker, but anyway, so safety Jamie Robinson led the team in tackles and interceptions. And then you do return all of your interior defensive linemen, including your big nose tackle Robert Cooper. And you also bring back your 3 linebackers. Bring back DJ Lundy, Kalen DeLoach, and Aheem Gaynor. So, but anyway, so how about we get into this schedule? Yes, they do start out week 1 against Duquesne. Yes, and now don't lose to Duquesne to Duquesne like you lost to Jacksonville State. Yes, you did not just beat Duquesne. You need to blow them out. But I think that you will. Right, so then, that's in week 0. And then, so in week 1, you play LSU in a not neutral site in New Orleans. So, yes, and let's see, Florida State has lost 5 straight week 1 games. Make it 6. I think you're losing to. Plus, basically a home game for LSU. So I got you losing this one. And then you get your first of 2 bye weeks because you play in week 0. And then next you've got at Louisville. So at Louisville on a Friday night. So you know that you always have to that I always have to pick the home team in these Friday night games. So I think that you lose to Louisville. But then next you've got Boston College. Now I know that a lot of people are talking about Boston College. I don't know why. yeah, so I do have you beating Boston College. And the next you play Wake Forest. Now, of course, I already did Wake Forest, so I think that they're going to be good again this year. So I do think that you lose this one. And then you're at NC State. That's another loss. Of course, I already did NC State. So, and then you play Clemson. Yeah, I've already done Clemson. I think that they are going to be a lot better this year. So that's a loss. And then that's when you get your second bye week. And you come out of that, you play Georgia Tech, and they're terrible. I already did Georgia Tech, so yeah, I think you beat them. And then you're at Miami. Now, of course, I already did Miami, so think they're good. They're going to be really good. So I do have you losing to Miami. Yeah, somehow you beat them last year, but it's not happening this year. Sorry. But anyway, yeah, and then you've got at Syracuse, as you got back-to-back road games. I do think that Syracuse is terrible. You'll beat them. And then you've got Louisiana. I know that Louisiana is one of the better group of 5 teams. I think they were something like 12-2 last year. Yeah, they won the Sun Belt. But anyway, they did lose their coach, Billy Napier, to Florida. Yeah, they did have some players who go with him, so they're probably not going to be as good as they were last year. Plus as good as they were, they still lost to a 5-win Texas. So I do have you going ahead and beating Louisiana. And then you finish things up with Florida. So so I think y'all are both going to be playing for bowl eligibility. And just like they beat you last year and kept you out of a bowl game, I think this year you beat them and keep them out of a bowl game. All right, so that comes out to 6-6. Yeah, so a typical season over the last 5 years. Yeah, so 6-6, and was that 3-5 in the ACC. So now moving on to the Louisville Cardinals. So yes, of course, my mom last year, they went 6-7. So 6-6 in the regular season, and then lost to Air Force in their bowl game. But yes, they did have some close losses. They had 3 losses by 6 points or less. So, but anyway, so the days of Lamar Jackson have now seem like a distant memory for Louisville fans. So now they do have Malik Cunningham at quarterback, who is kind of like great value Lamar Jackson. So He did throw for almost 3,000 yards last year, and he did have just over 1,000 rush yards, as he was the team's leading rusher. And now this is his last year of eligibility, as he's going to be a fifth-year senior, a super senior because of COVID, so from 2020. But anyway, yes, your quarterback situation is good. And then see at your running backs. Yes, like I said, Cunningham was the leading rusher, but but he does have some good backs to turn around and hand the ball to. He's got Jalen Mitchell and Travion Cooley, and you also got a running back transfer from Tennessee, Tyon Evans. So, and then so looking at your receiver situation, you do return tight end Marshawn Ford, leading receiver from last year, but losing a lot at wide receiver to the transfer portal. They did lose three of their best four wide receivers. They had Jordan Watkins transferred to Ole Miss. Tyler Harrell went to Alabama, and Justin Marshall to Buffalo. So you do return Amari Huggins Bruce. That's really your only wide receiver from last year. But you did get two transfers in D. Wiggins from Miami and Tyler Hudson from Central Arkansas. So, but anyway, so now over on to the defense. So they do lose three starters on the defense. Let's see, your leading tackler, inside linebacker, C.J. Avery. And your second leading tackler, safety, Quinterio Cole. And then cornerback Greedy Vance is transferred. Anyway, yes. So you did get a cornerback from Florida State, though, in Jarvis Brownlee. So y'all traded cornerbacks. But anyway, you do have some other good players coming back. So you have your other cornerback in Kytrell Clark, and let's see, and then your other safety, Kendrick Duncan, and linebackers Jack Fago and Yasir Abdullah. So anyway, how about we get into the schedule for Louisville? Okay, so they do start out week 1 against Syracuse. On the road at Syracuse. I do think that this should be a win for the Cards. Syracuse is terrible. And then next, you play you play at UCF. Yeah. Last year you hosted UCF. This year you play at UCF. So, but anyway, yeah. So just like so you beat them last year, but this year, I think that they beat you, because let's see, it is a road game on a Friday night, and UCF is one of the better group of 5 teams. So I do have you dropping this one. And then next you've got Florida State. And yes, and I do think that you will beat Florida State, because it's at home on a Friday night. So you gotta go with the home team on these Friday night, on these Thursday and Friday night games, right? So anyway, so the next you've got USF, yes, South Florida. Yeah, that should be an easy win. They're terrible, even for a group of 5 team. So, but anyways, then moving on. Next, you've got back-to-back road games at Boston College and at Virginia. So I already did Virginia, but anyway, so I do have you yes, I do have you losing both these games to Boston College and Virginia. But anyway, so then that takes you into your bye week. Yep, at the halfway point of the season. And then you come out of that and you play Pitt. And I already did my Pitt preview, so you've seen that. You already know that I have you beating Pitt. And then Wake Forest, same thing. I already did Wake Forest, so I have I have y'all winning that one. And then next we play James Madison. Yes, formerly an FCS team. They were at the time that this game was scheduled, but they are actually an FBS team this year. Yes, they did join the Sun Belt, but I still think that you should destroy them. And then next you are at Clemson, and I mean, I already did my Clemson preview, so that I think that they're going to be much improved, going to look like the regular Clemson that we're used to seeing. So I do have you losing this game. And then next, you do get NC State at home. So I already did NC State, so that I already have you winning this game. Even though, yes, I do think that NC State is going to be good, but I still have you winning this one anyway. And then next, you do finish out the regular season at Kentucky, your in-state rival, and I already did Kentucky. So yes, I do think that you lose to Kentucky. So anyway, so that does bring your record out to let's see, 7-5, and 7-5, and f- 5-3 in the ACC. And now moving on to the Boston College Eagles. Now last year, typical year for Boston College, 6-6, and I mean that's just how they are. They're perennial bottom feeder in the ACC, always hovering around 500, maybe 5-7, 6-6, 7-5. So right, so last year 6-6. So they did start out good. They started out 4-0, right? But then their quarterback, and then their quarterback got hurt, and then their season did kind of fall apart. So, but anyway, so with your quarterbacks, so it looks like there is going to be a quarterback competition between Phil Jurkovec and Dennis Grossel. So of course last year Jurkovec was the starter to start the season, but he was injured in the third game, right? It was it was the third game, I think, was when Jurkovec was injured. So that's when Grossel came in. So and then they went like so anyway Grosso was doo-doo. So then Jurkovec did get the start back once he was healthy again for the last 4 games. So but anyway, so so it is probably gonna be Jurkovec. But anyway, yes, and you do bring back your running back, Pat Garlow the third. Yeah, so over 1,000 yards last year. Really the workhorse back. He got most of the carries. So and then on your wide receivers, you do bring back your top 4 receivers. You do bring back your leading receiver, wide receiver, Zay Flowers, and tight end Trey Berry, and then your other wide receivers, Jalen Gill and Jaden Williams. So you do bring back your whole offense, which wasn't very good at all last year. So. And anyway, so then let's look over on the defense. Yes, 10 starters do return. Really, the only loss was one of your linebackers, Isaiah Mobley. So, but anyway, so returning players, you do bring back your other two linebackers. You got Cam Arnold and Vinny De Palma. So yeah, and also your defensive end sack leader Marcus Valdez. Y'all didn't have very many sacks last year, so but he did have 5 sacks. So, and then your defensive tackle Cam Horsley. So, but anyway, so how about we move on with the safety Jaden Woodby. So, but anyways, let's get into that schedule. So we've got you do start out week 1 against Rutgers. So I do have you getting the win here against Rutgers. I think y'all are probably both about the same, but you do get them at home, so I'm going to give you the win. And then next you are play at Virginia Tech, and so I already did Virginia Tech. So I did pick Virginia Tech here. So, and then next you play Maine. Yeah, an FCS team. You should you should win without a problem. And then up next you play at Florida State. So now I just did my Florida State preview on this same video. So you already know that I have you losing to Florida State. And then next you come back home. You get Louisville. So now, I literally just did Louisville, so you already know I have you beating Louisville. And next, Clemson. Clemson is going to be back to regular Clemson, so that's obviously a loss. And then you get your bye week. Come out of that, you're at Wake Forest. That's a loss. I did them already. And then you've got you are at Uconn. Yeah. What are you doing playing at Uconn? But Uconn's terrible. Even for a group of 5 team, you should destroy them. And then next you got Duke. Duke is going to be terrible, so you should have no problem with Duke. And then you've got your at NC State. I already did NC State, so that's a loss. And then at Notre Dame, that's an automatic L. And then you've got Syracuse, that's a win. Syracuse is terrible. So let's see. So that does put you at 6-6 and 3-5 in the ACC. And now, moving on to last and least, the Syracuse Orange. My mom last year was a bad season by most standards, but it was a typical year for Syracuse. So and so aside from that one really good year they had in 2018 when they had 10 wins, they have been terrible since they joined the ACC. Yeah, they used to be good when they were in the Big East, but so anyway, yes, and this will probably be the last year for Dino Babers. Yeah, he's already got one foot out the door. So, but anyway, so 5-7 last year. So, but anyway, I guess we'll talk about your quarterbacks first. Well, of course, last year you did play 2 quarterbacks. Of course, you started out with Tommy DeVito, but then he was injured in the 3rd game, and he missed the rest of the season. So then it was Garrett Schrader for the rest of the season. My mom transfer from Mississippi State, who in 2019 he was famous for that one play against Kansas State when he went up in the air when he tried to jump over that one guy, but then he got hit and went up in the air, and then another guy hit him in midair, and then he did a helicopter spin, and then landed 1 yard short on 4th down on the last play of the game. So, but anyway, so then Tommy DeVito did transfer to Illinois. So it looks like it will be Schrader getting the start. So, and then of course they're really Syracuse's pass game was just pitiful last year. They didn't even have 2,000 yards combined. So, a really low yards per attempt, completion percentage around 50%. So, and then Garrett Schrader, he's really he's doo-doo as a passer, but I mean he's he's great as a runner. Yeah, he can run around a lot. He can take the hits. So. But anyway, because he is a big downhill runner. So. But anyway. And then the running backs, yes, you do have a really good running back in Sean Tucker. Yeah, about 1,500 yards last year, and 6 yards a carry. But so anyway, so he is a really good running back, and his talent is really being wasted at Syracuse. Probably should have transferred, but he decided to stay. And he had about as many yards per carry as Schrader had yards per attempt. So. Yeah, so anyway, let's see, so now moving on to your receivers. Actually, Sean Tucker was your number 2 receiver. So you do bring back Courtney Jackson, Damian Alford, and Anthony Quealy. So. And so anyway, so how about we take a look at the defense, yes, which returns 8 starters. They did have their 2 defensive linemen. They had defensive tackle Josh Black and nose tackle McKinley Williams. And then they do lose one of their linebackers, Jeff Canton Arku. Anyway, but they do return their leading tackler, inside linebacker Michael Jones, and your sack leader, defensive end Cody Roscoe, and your interception leader, defensive back Darian Chestnut. So anyways, now how about we take a look at that schedule. Anyway, so you start out week 1 against Louisville. I just did Louisville, so you already know that's a loss. And then next up is at Uconn. Uconn is one of the worst group of 5 teams. You should beat them. And then next, you play Purdue, and I think that's a loss. And then next you get Virginia. Yeah, it's at home on a Friday night, and you should always take the home team in these Thursday and Friday night games. So that really is the only reason I have you beating Virginia. And then next you've got Wagner, an FCS team, so you should beat them no problem. So now you're at 3-2, and that takes you into your bye week. And then you come out of that, and this is when the schedule really gets tough. Of course, I do have you losing these next 7 games. We've got NC State, loss. At Clemson, loss. Notre Dame, loss. At Pitt, loss. Florida State, loss. At Wake Forest, loss. And at Boston College, loss. So So anyway, so that does bring your record out to 3-9 and 1-7 in the ACC. So anyway, so that is going to wrap it up for this one. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all again next time.